Yeah, with another style. Okay, man. I woke up in a good mood. I don't know why, but I'm feeling so good, like I want the whole wood. I'm not gonna put on a t-shirt today.
Hi guys, how are you today? I hope you did well whenever you watch this. Don't worry, in episode sponsored by Uganda Electricity Distribution Company. Why? Passengers are getting. Now I have two locations where I actually shoot my stuff from United Passenger. We have tried to wait to get something to go over the Sassi, to get my son, which has a kind of Tanzania. To go by, to know about it to Uganda, so you are wilderness. But I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to this week's episode of Come.
For the guys that have passenger vehicles, abayine moroka ezikola ezivuga abantu n'ebyamaguzi, if you have a vehicle that is either transporting people or staff, lorries, taxis, buses, trucks, anything that ngagwe moroka your business, as of 1st July, mandatory vehicle inspection has come back. Mandatory inspection, you remember some time ago, they had what they called SGS. It was a foreign company. It set up the testing centers, the inspection centers. There is one on Masaka Road, one on Bombo Road, I think one on Ginger Road as well. Yeah, so they set up various inspection centers, and Parliament and it wasn't worked. So government is compensating SGS 109 billion shillings. Already 30-something billions have been disbursed to SGS. And the Ministry of Works has taken over inspection. And as of 1st July, now the fees are very easy. Passenger vehicles bagenda basasula 49,500. Motorcycles, hey. Motorcycle nabadde nkabuse. So apparently aba boda okutandika nga lumu July mwino twala boda zamwe bazike. Now here is the problem. Normally the problem is the police of Uganda tebagenda kusobola kwawula passenger boda and personal boda and bakola ekikoko tekikwata boda ne pitch za bulijjo bazikwatiramu kati simanyi. So if you have a motorcycle, just take it to the SGS. Kechirungi musasule nkabasasula sente ntono 5,500 shillings for borders and 60,000 for buses and heavy commercial vehicles. So this is very affordable. I find that everyone is paying very small money. Kati the small vehicles like the chigeges, yeah, the chigeges, I don't know how they came up with these things, but yeah, so that's happened. But the only issue with this inspection, Jendaba, is that the government has not told us what they are going to be following. Yeah, they are inspecting these vehicles. They have not told us what are they looking at. Bwebakugamba your car should be in good mechanical condition. I've seen in countries in Europe where even the scratch on the bumper can get your car to not pass inspection. So what are they going to be focusing on as they inspect these vehicles? That's something. That's up to them. And what website are we going to get all the information we need from? I find that I don't know. God bless us. I hope the public relations officers of these various government entities know what they're doing. They should have a website that gives us all this information so that before someone takes their vehicle for inspection, you get. So I find that they should create a website or a landing page where they tell all these people that before you bring your car for inspection, tell this is what we're going to focus on as we inspect. For example, inspecting a truck. Let's look at the Sino truck. What they look at inspecting a Sino truck is not what they look at inspecting an ELF. I inspected the Canter from the Bond. It's a 1990 model. You cannot have the same criteria. You're inspecting a Canter 1990 as you cannot compare it to a 2024 Sino truck. So they need to. I don't know. Echirungi sina commercial vehicle kubanga nali badenzi yano complaining. But the guys that have commercial vehicles, passenger vehicles, good luck. As of 1st July, we know twali moroka. Echirungi obusente butono. Ne bakugoba ne bagada yosa suli. Mujabu sasuli. And your vehicles are making money. So temwera. Busia, there is the Busia district chairperson who was arrested earlier this year. Now, this is a piece of news we did not report, but the Busia district chairperson was arrested around March, April 2025 by the State House Anti-Corruption Unit for stealing an engine and a gearbox from a from a government vehicle. So he stole the gearbox and the engine and the calculations. Yari abijema Hilux double cabin. Engine yari KZ, I think. The one KZ and the gearbox that goes with it, and it was estimated to cost around 30 million shillings. Yabibba yabitwarawa mukama yamanyi. So he was arraigned before court and sentenced. But however, no, he was remanded. He wasn't sentenced. He was remanded by Bakaise Masana police station, I think. He was remanded to Masana police station. Naabera yokko. Apparently, the case wasn't concluded, but the guy came back to office. Osegera, he came back to office. And this time, on 13th, May 13th, he was arguing with the district chief administrative officer. Why? He was given a car and also given a driver. Ninga guy yayagala kwevuga. Guy yayagala kwevuga. So that's what is happening. So you know, the standing orders as a local government are that every government vehicle should be driven by a certified government driver. So chitegeza, if the government gives you a vehicle, the driver is supposed to drive you, not you. Kati ya mwami bamuita Mugeni Stephen yagamba yagala kwevuga. So when he went to the car, yali agenze kuyomba. Mumpa mute moroka ne mumpa ne driver sisobola kwevuga. And they had the road and for that quarter to go away, they had to call police. And the thing is, of course, he stole government property, and this is something that we all know. Sometimes abantu abagule moroka auction musange ebintu bimesinga, but where do these things go? These things are taken by government officials that have authority over them. Ochitegera kati oba yateka we oba neno yagala jijjamu byajijjamu mukama yamanyi. But apparently that ekyo chote kyaba dissolved bakiresaawo mu bbanga naye nga yabadde ayombera ddala nga ayagala kubanga yeyevuga. But of course then we'll be asking bwekibanga etteeka lya local government ligamba if we give you a government vehicle we also give you a driver, gwe lwaki olemerako gamendize kangende nevuge. Ochitegera I think you would actually appreciate ekiyinza okubanga kiriwo kiri nti the driver will have to take the car back to the district ng'amaze okukola naye ono ayagala bamuwe moroka yevuga asule nayo. I'm not saying it's that omanyi kati we are walking on glasses tosobola kumala googera bintu, you know, take a disclaimer, but that is what happened in Busia. I hope it is resolved, and I hope Mr. Mugeni adheres to what the law says, adheres to what the standing orders say. Moroka ajireke driver ajevuge kitegeera. And also on May 11th there was a Mercedes Benz. Hey, Mercedes Benz emelo emelo baji kutesmagolinga obusimu bwa amapesa. No, obusimu bwa amapesa abadde basmagolinga bungi. So apparently the enforcement officers bakutte emoroka in Namayingwe in Eastern Uganda. They followed it in mpola nga basuspecting anti yinzo kuba, of course balina bambega mubagayi bobokola ebintu manya anti bambega webali. So bakutte emoroka eyo Mercedes Benz nga ekukusa obusimu bwa amasimu. Ne obusimu bubadde 860 phones nga buli mbu aitero nga buyitirivu. Let's just do the math. Obusimu 860. Even if these phones were costing akadde mabega kaliwo ku calculator yange 860, ne bwabanga buli kasimu yabadde agenda katunda emitwalo 3 mulimu $2.5 million. The problem is, of course, Benz siza bei nyonga zitambuddeko naye nga bwaba naye yajugula layisi nga ajiguze nga yakusimagolinga ebategenda musala. So the guys that were driving ababadde batwala ebyamaguzi bo babakutte ne babasiba ne moroka ne bagisigaza n'obusimu ne babusigaza. So now URA is saying they are also surprised. Babadde bamanyi moroka za layisi nzimaka tumusota zizikugusa ebintu ne kati abantu nanzo okukusiza mukyusiza obukodyo mukusiza moroka ezebbe, and they are saying that the owner of this car bakati moroka it's forfeited back to the government. Kati ya government bajiwamba bize moroka. If you have been to URA you'll see some of the vehicles that are normally parked at URA nga zitudde emipiira zigubye zonna. So that's what it's going to become. Or else driver aba bayagala emmoroka eyo agenda asasula $1,000 mmeka $5,000 kuba buli dollar 1,000,000 emiliyoni nga 3 nga n'ekitundu. So $5,000 agireke bulesi kuba obusimu yabadde akusaba 25. Now of course the URA guys were saying that we hope this was not a case of mpanvu game kuba omuntu ayinza okujja wano atha mpanvu game mmoroka n'agenda n'akukusa obusimu nga bulijjo abadde ajja n'eyeyazika emmoroka n'agenda n'akukusa obusimu n'agikomyawo. He hires a car n'akukusa obusimu n'agikomya kati kuno nga baamukutte ate nga baamukutte naye ne bamusiba kati ogenda kubanja ani okitegeera. But of course the act of smuggling, guys, try as much as possible to stop smuggling because smuggling is bad. Ofiiriza eggwanga lyaffe omusolo ate omusolo ogwo gwe guzimba amalwaliro ne guzimba n'enguudo. So stop smuggling because it's not proper. Ate kati you cannot be smuggling in an expensive vehicle like an email. Gireete tukuweemu akakadde k'essente ekyo nakyo kiggwe. And then on May 14th, the president through the vice president, they say right now the government has increased funding for road safety campaigns. Owezo sent naffe for the love of cars agenda ntufunako naffe tusobole kuba naffe. That's majorly what we're going to do through the sensitization, educating people about road signs and traffic lights, how to use them and all that. But Baba Demu National Road Safety Conference in Munyonyo, and they announced the increase in government funding for road safety campaigns through the Ministry of Works and Transport. Kati, of course, kati ngena nonya PR wa Ministry of Works tulabi. Kati, shall we get a bit of the potato? Because the potato is going to be eaten. So kati, for the love of kazi bwe ka potato ako ati tuba yise nnyo? Obviously not. So what is happening is the goal is to reduce road deaths and injuries by 25% in the financial year 2026-2027, and then they want to halve them. That's 50% by 2030. So they are saying that road crashes cost Uganda over 86.2 billion shillings annually in medical expenses. With families bearing an average of 7 million in treatment costs, especially for severe injuries from border accidents. Oba tubadde twogera nani nga borders ezo tunazikolera ki? Anyway, that's a conversation we need to have because borders are the leading cause of accidents. And if in your family, if all of you guys can avoid using borders, please avoid using borders because in those 86.2 billion Uganda shillings beziba zigenda ku medical ojja kusanga 80 billion kwezo zigenda mukujjanjaba victims ba border accidents. So the vice president Jessica Alupo yabadde abyogera, yabadde representing the president, and of course even General Katumba, bamita Edward Katumba Wamala, the Minister of Works and Transport, for the guys that don't know. Launching the guide. Can I say the guide for establishment of safe school zones in Uganda, and of course this guide can be used by schools, it can be used by local governments, it can be used basically to establish a safe school zone. Omanya amasomero gabeera emotoka yali badde ekendeza ka speed abakola enguudo bagenda basobola okukakozesa. So when we get a hold of it, we'll be exploring it with you guys so that you know. But just so you know, if there is anyone in the Ministry of Works, you have a piece or you know where to get the potato from, Arthur, for the love of cars, can get a piece of the potato so that you also use the potato to also eat a little, but to also go and sensitize the general public and create awareness on road safety, because that's partly what we're going to be doing as an organization. So kati wona woligwe manyesawa yona the government is coming to your area to start educating people about road safety. And of course in South Africa, you see how we have taxis here and we have borders. In South Africa they have their own taxis, izo taxis tambuza abantu ezabulijjo. And then there is a company called Intercape yesinga ndozokuba ne buses enyingi mu South Africa. And now that company is having a lot of trouble. The taxi guys are fighting the bus company, and they're not fighting anyhow. Bajja ne bakuba n'amasasi. nibakuba amayinja basi ochegera. So they are really bad. They actually have no go zones. What was zones that were demarcated nga bus zina genda yo because the taxis are working there. Because South Africa simanyi obensi za Africa zo daza abaji zina cartels like they have cartels of taxi drivers nga befuge bifune baga kati wono bus teina kola chi tesala and the buses went to the level of hiring private security companies ngona geno hiring Saracen nti basi yange genda beite bwayise tekira abasirikale ba Saracen 10 naba bakume basi yange weneita okitegera to the level that the bus companies zatuka last year nga spending a lot of money. They had spent a lot of money on private security. They held it off. Private security. They have a new minister of transport in South Africa right now, and they are welcoming him. They reached a point in the government, but now they have a new minister of transport and saying maybe this new minister of transport but it's bad. It's bad. And now I think I understand why the government is fearing the border guys here. Government ebatia. Government ebatia. I understand. Now if the taxi guys by nane mundu, South Africa is a bit different. But if the taxi guys in South Africa basoborogamba bus tujagala uwano nibalwanyisa company paka that's something that is a cause for concern. So apparently the bus drivers are calling upon the government and the general public. Why? Buses provide very affordable transport. Where a taxi is going to take 14 people, for example, here in Kampala, a bus will take 86 or 50 or 60. That means, and the bus will literally consume almost the same amount of fuel. And because they consume literally the same amount of fuel, they will be cheaper. Abantu abalinya kuwa kule Nume from City Square to Gayaza ngibaya nusu 1,500 nenga the taxis za 2,200 omuntu aba savings nusu 1,000 okitegeera dwalina nusu 1,000 actually nga yasobola ayimirira n'okuyimirira. So its buses are definitely cheaper than taxis. Of course kati wano okugenda up country bwobanga ngenda Hoima bus ne taxis ezimu ne taxi yebiri lwaki taxi eba ya bbeeyi teyimirira ne basi yesingo pozi basi ino yimirira buli petrol station buli police station kati taxi wano taxi zeggulu nganze ninya taxi ogende eggulu nze mu taxi nga ngende Rwanda neko omanyi obulamu bwo botadde mukati abaga ababana nga bavuga bubi sikisobola ekyo. But anyway guys, so that is what is happening in South Africa, and I understand government wano kuba nti eti aba border nti borders are many, banange you guys mwagala okakasa nti aba border bangi genda Kampala road. Kati bavuga Kampala road vaawo Lumba Bombo road vaku Bombo road gendera ddala paka ebwayise awo kawuka eno street okuva Kampala road up to bwayise oyinza okusanga lo boda emitwalo nga 8 oba 8 mungi omunana mungi mukaaga naye omukaaga mungi ababoda bangi tuyinza n'okuba tugamba emitwalo 8 nga basukkamu. Kati just imagine a government trying to fight such people. Ate balina solida. Nguyagala okakasa ati ababoda balina solida. Tomedako wa bodo bamukoneko omala omuvume. Ne bwakonako akuvuma ne banene bajja ne bakuvuma nga tebamanyi lwaki akuvuma. Government intuufu ne President Museveni aleka bwatunda ku baboda ati agamba batandikire wa ababoda banene government tebasobola. Nze njagala government endage konti ebasobola. General Edward Katumba Wamala tulage konti ababodo basobola tobasobola ababoda bayina amaanyi gwatola baffe tupatya nza ababoda mbayita wala kyemanyi oyinza okusanga ne even government ministers babavuga nga bwalengera wa boda agaba driver tosembera misegejo ababoda government ebatya nze njagala government enda kati nedda bagenda kola inspection kati katulabere nga mbagamba kola inspection tebajja kujja ateminache atenge 15 bazina. But they won't go. Kati tulabe government kye bakola. Omuntu yekere ayinza okusobola ababoda yali safe border. But he got greedy. he got greedy. Ate kati ababoda bw'obasanga aba safe boda abantu bonna bava mu safe boda bagamba omusajja yali abajjako ssente nnyingi nga tekyamakinga sense. So obviously nze okusinziira ku evidence yenyina from these safe border guys, he got greedy. Naye gayi yali aluse ekintu, wabawo ekintu omuntu kyaluka n'ogamba ono gayi, ate okumanya gayi yali okimanyi nti gayi oyo yagaggawala ng'atambula n'akabwa akazungu. Omanyi wolabira omuntu ndi akikubye kwe kutandika atambula ne buno obwo obweru obwo ng'atuuka mu bantu n'akakwata n'akateeka wano babuyita mu kiwawa. Omuntu kasata aliko tambula n'akabwa akazungu akakwata wano batuuka mu bantu mu meeting mwita musene najja n'akabwa n'akakwata ati mu conference n'atula kati senganze nange nakikuba mba nkute wano akabwa kange omanya akikubye. Rapa yali akikubye. Rapa yatuuka ng'atambula n'akabwa akazungu simanyi oba akyakalina kati naye gwe ekyobumanya akyakalina nene mawulire takyalimu nnyo. Tumunoonyeko, maybe tumunoonyeko tukole interview atubulye his side of the story. Tuzo bwano nga tusala ebyanjwanjwa nga bamukuba kikono tugenda munoonyako. By the way guys, we are going to look for that guy. Naye gwe yali akikubye gwakakabwa akazungu kali emmere ya bbeeyi. But anyway, that's what is happening in South Africa. Guys, in Tanzania there is something they call the DAR, which is short for Dar es Salaam Rapid Transit Agency. Yeah, they call it the Rapid Transit Agency, and this is responsible for rolling out the rapid transit system. And in this system, they are saying that they are trying to to create an efficient system to meet commuter demand, and their goal is to have about 305 buses to move commuters around the city. And right now they have about 80 to 100 buses that are moving. But this same agency brought a new bus that uses compressed natural gas, CNG. Now, compressed natural gas is a form of fuel that is compressed to the core and ngedamuga 1% fumes. Olaba nga bwe tuvuga petrol nti omuko ogufuluma mu exhaust guli dangerous. Guli gubera very compressed nga tegukyalina danger. Ngolaba batugamba nti instead of cooking with charcoal, you cook with gas, yeah? LPG. So compressed natural gas is very friendly for the environment. So they have launched their first bus in the testing phase, the one that uses compressed natural gas, and they are saying that yes, why they are bringing about the buses is to make sure that the people batambula in a way that is organized, that gives them air conditioning. Imagine the buses they have charging ports, they have air conditioning and stuff like that. When tutambulira mu taxis afesi no banangeze taxi si kyazisobola sigamba nti nagaggawala naye there are things bye kyasobola taxi enfufu ekukuba enfufu eyingira okitegeera kwegamba your breathing is even hard and stuff like that. But what they are saying is that this bus that they are rolling out is going to be very favorable, and I know it will be in Zatambulyamu Esinchimanyi that the quality of air I breathe in is better than the quality of the air. This gentleman here breathes in yagano gule motoka, he has the money na ye kuba enjawulo, but the quality of air we breathe is totally different. Okitegeera era kati yalina okudetoxifying emirundi ng'esatu mwezi zebemba detoxifying omulundi gumu kubanga enfufu ye kuyingira muze igule motoka. So that's what is happening, and me I find that Dar es Salaam is going to have very good air. Umanyi, in countries where the governments care, they will try to make these things happen. For example, if they brought an EV minibus, like there's a kind of minibus, a minivan that I reviewed some time ago, the government would be supporting drivers to actually acquire those cars. I've already, for the guys that use Chira Road, you guys have seen that there is a billboard TV, the one that is in the traffic lights. It has periodically, but graphics that our air is very unhealthy. But it's unhealthy because some of the cars that they allow to come in Nankade ate zibirole bichi nezo chigege zebakiza kukubu ngambinyo zikyasinza polluting environment. Some of us are driving new cars. We have catalytic converters in our cars. Ezo chigege zonate zirolete zilina, so they are the ones spoiling the air. Yet if they like supported these drivers to acquire newer vehicles, ezo bali badde bazifacing out n'abaleeta lole baleeta empya, and then they support them in acquiring the newer lorries, the newer taxis and stuff like that, chigegezi, yeah, it would be a very good thing for them. But of course, that's something that these guys have to think about. I hope that General Wamala anachirowoozaako ekyo ne batandika okuteekangamu akasente mu budget to support these guys buloni obwo. Osegira mwana ng'agenda mu bano abaleeta emmoroka eza zero mileage n'afunayo ekimoroka nga kituuza abantu 18 kivaane ebyo bikigaati n'avuga abantu. I think it would be a very good thing. But that is what is happening in that. Here in Kampala, we have our EVs, Ezachira EV, Ezo bus. I don't know why they are not rolling them out massively. Zaniko kujanga samuza abantu kugayaza road bati bagende bulenga, bagende eri mukono. Abantu bana balina taxi benyene nyine basobola okuzigula. Bwe babeera sensitized enough. Okisegira because abasajja balina sente omwana agenda agula drone million nkaga. Kati obasi boboji muguze million 4. Okisegira million 4, that is like 5 to 6 drones. Ajja n'agigula kubanga ate yetambuza abantu bangi nnyo, ate era ne expense yebeereka. Why? Because first of all it's a new bus, and second of all atwala abantu bangi omulundi gumu ate n'asaving up. But of course that's something for for the marketing guys about Chira EV and of course the Ministry of Works to think about. Yeah, but that's what is happening in Tanzania. And in England, there is a female driver that was arrested for taking drugs. Simwenge, sinjaga. You know this chemical that is used in racing vehicles to improve performance, to boost performance. It's called nitrous oxide. Yeah, nitrous oxide. Now that thing not only works to boost power in cars. Kati abazungu bo batuyitako mukunywe biragalalagala. Kati bachinusa, they put it in a mask and they kunusa that thing, yeah. Sniff, muluzungu chiba sniff. They sniff. So now there is a chick. She was driving a Fiat 500, and she was high on nitrous oxide. It's temporary. It's also called laughter gas. But you know laughter gas? Yeah, they call it laughing gas. So it makes you happy. It makes you get it's like an aphrodisiac of sort. So this chick yabadanywe did that nitrous oxide, and she was driving her Fiat 500. Natomero mukazi w'emyaka 5 mugumu, and she was arrested definitely. Moroka yatomedde omukazi ne moroka ne yefuula. And you know the old woman we bamutukidde yagambye munabadde gudda onenda okugulu kwanga kuvaako omusaayi ngero tuna side zering moroka nayo yefudde bweti. Of course kati byogedde mu Luganda. That's what she said. And then they are saying that the old lady got an injury that will never go away. So that is what happened there. Nebamusiba, and they also stripped her of a license. She's not allowed to drive. That should come here in Kampala. Someone causes an accident, mumujie ko permit mugaye wetudda muntu kusanga ngo ovuga. Okitegeera. But of course bamwadde even jail time. I'll make you feel nice. After that I'll take you to my place. And guys, remember how the YY bus burnt down and it killed a bunch of people? So what happened is the Ministry of Works has banned the bus from operating for 15 days. Why? Guys, 15 days seems like it's too little, but actually too much. Enaku 15 nga bus company tekola. Is eribanga dene nyo, but it's simply trying to instill discipline. But of course now why yoye was akegamba banange but driver tugeza ko bakolachi uba refresher courses, and we all know that it might actually not be the fault of the bus driver. Yabadata asawa border emuruka nemwefuulako. We have all tried to say chovola banze. The goal is just maintain the speed limits kubanga until the border crisis is dealt with, because until the border guys babakute kubana bate bannabakwatako muganda wange mugenda batomera ate mujja funa ebizibu. So in this episode we have a new segment for you, and we think if you have watched this episode up to the very end, we want you to give your view. We will be giving you an idea, and then oji teseko. Guys, would you gift your girlfriend a car? And the girls, would you gift your boyfriend a car? Boyfriend and girlfriend. Tugamba husband and wife. Boyfriend and girlfriend, would you give them a car? Era bw'oba wakumuwa mmoloka okoma mu ssente mmeka okugaba emmoloka eyo? My dear Pia agambye alina omuvubuka gw'alabye ng'awa girlfriend emmoloka omutima gwe ne gwennyika. Kirabika bamukozeeko emikolo mingi. But what do you think? Put it in the comment section. And then of course in the US, way more eringa Uber. It's like an Uber, but this one provides autonomous vehicles. It has apparently recalled more than 1,200 vehicles because zitomera gate, you get. So that's what they are recalling it, and they are of course going to give these cars a software update. Yeah. Zinemoka zikwera ku software, and the software baba mu programming bagamba nti bolengera microphone eno yimirira, bolengera omuntu yimirira. So these 1,200 vehicles that have been recalled zibadenga zezina software version eyo ekola error eyo. So they have recalled them back so that they give them an update bamareba zizeyo because it's not safe. Yeah. And of course now when knowing this, it brings an idea in our heads. Is the world ready for autonomous vehicles? Because so many new things come up. Like what we want to genda ngaruka jigere. What we genda ngaruka gwanga kagamba don't cross. Kata we moroka yote chimanyi. Emoroka yamanyira muntu motoka na chizimbe. Osegera. Kato and then when you have software updates, I'm asking myself, because if you have looked at Google Maps, the guys that have houses, you look at Google Map and you zoom into your area. Urabobe nyumba yonga weri ngoma zewe miezi nga mukaga na mu Google Maps 3D rage bizimbe nge nyumba yote liwo. You have seen that before, yeah? Oba no raba when you go through Google Maps no zooming urabe nyumba yo weri ngaruwe moroke parking unaenga teriwo. Obanga you had a white car 6 months ago, katinga you have a blue one, naenga when you zoom into Google Maps waliwo otsegera. I don't know if the updates zozi basigara ba updating over software are guessing at ya. So now of course it brings a question of is autonomous vehicles ready for us, or are we ready for them? And of course the software they are going to update and then it will go. Now this is the time that I know what software engineers do. When you software engineer yakorawo kati solving ati now ochiraba akagudoke wa Bobby Wine nkategedde akava kuliye kasangati kagwebu wati waliwo akakuba akaita kukikomera kya Bobby Wine akagenda nako ne kagweri naye kabi kalungi kabi chichi. So you see now things like that. How does an autonomous vehicle handle? Unagambi there is a road that goes ku Bobby Wine Road okuva Kasangati paka Buwati. There is that main road, but then there is also another car road that goes via Bobby Wine's Chisakati. It's not a road, it's a footpath. But Google Map yali emulagira mugamba osobola okuyitaawo ye nalabanga kumpi n'agenda ayitewo ne kikoma. So I'm asking myself how Waymo handles that, but of course software designers, software engineers can correct us there. Nenga I don't know kati femoroka kati tuba tugenda zifuna kati abamu software glitch we yazie Waymo inzo ziri calling ane sura nsule bwezi sura fene tuvayo ne tujja ne tusula ntulete kampala tukuzeba sekatawa bevuge kata ujjo kulabira. That's why we have some cars that have those glitches nga twata nikukubagamba nti why emoroka eyo giraba gireke sinungi. And then of course there is a 79-year-old man that died when their car was being stolen. His car was being stolen. So what happens is this guy went to a washing bay. But in America, washing bays are ways you can wash yourself. You pay them and they give you equipment and you wash yourself. So this guy, this old man, was vacuuming the rear seat. To vacuum. The carjacker did not know that there was someone there. Maybe he knew, maybe I think he did not know. I don't think people are that heartless. He started the car and started driving. Bambi muzeyi nga achali mu moroka bwati until the muzeyi fell off. So So police eventually came, took the guy to the hospital where he died, and they eventually found the vehicle nearby. Like you see how someone can see the car from YMCA, and even the guy was found because of manyimu USA yabantu batone before ebimu, so tosobola kumala gadduka ate ebisere bisinga the guys that still cars baba banaku, so naye bamukutene bamusiba. And yeah, I'm not going to say it ended happily ever after, but the daughter of the guy that died is happy. May his soul rest in peace. And then of course Google, you guys know about Gemini. Now Gemini is an AI tool. Some of us use it. I have it on my phone. You know, my Samsung updated. When it updated, now I have Gemini by default. I want to disable it, but I can't. Now Google has announced that they're going to have an advanced AI assistant that will be integrated in Android Auto. You guys have Android radios. So back in the newer radios, some of you have very, very old radios. But in the newer radios and the cars that come out in already, Zina Android, I'm going to put an assistant that will enable you to do tasks as you drive. I'll give you an example. With this AI, you can actually be driving and say, Gemini, send a text to Sekatawa. I don't know if Gemini can understand that Sekatawa is a name. Send a text to Sekatawa. Tell him, I don't know, whatever you want to tell it. But they are doing some things like that to enable you to do tasks. And among the tasks that I know you could do is send an email, send a text, call someone, right? And turn on wipers and stuff like that. But that's for advanced vehicles. When technology jatutwala nze nawe. But anyway, that is what is happening, and of course Google is innovating. Google has a lot of applications. Yeah, and we have reached a point where in this generation, if you don't use AI, gwafirwa. Botakozesa AI gwabera afirwa. Abakozesa AI bote bafirwa. Okitegera? Because everyone is using AI. You just have to find a creative way to use AI.
I don't know why, but I'm feeling so good, like I want the whole wood. I'm not gonna put on a t-shirt today.
And today's comparison, I want to take a totally different angle. I'm not going to make the usual comparison that I've been making, where I compare a Fielder with a Vista Adeo. I'm going to compare experiences that I've had personally in Zenga Atha. The first experience is the experience of driving a performance car. Let's compare the N12 or the N14, which are very powerful vehicles. I've driven both. And let's also compare driving a normal car like a Toyota Crown or the Ipsam or the Toyota Harrier. Let's compare those two cars. Now, I've driven both and the feelings are totally and entirely different. Now, the recent one, I drove the Subaru N14, the 2-in-1 vehicle. And this is what happened. The feeling that you get from driving a performance car like the N14 is, oh my God. There's adrenaline rushing all through you. There's a surge of power in your brain. There's a surge. Your heart is pumping blood at a very high speed. You want to keep moving. You don't want to be behind anyone. You want to be going fast because the sound of that vehicle is demanding speed. You get? Is demanding. Have you ever had a girlfriend nga akutwala ku speed nga ganze bota nyanjula biwedde? I saw nalabi Chris Evans. I saw an interview Chris Evans yagambye yatunda takali yali atunda plot ayanjula omukazi. Have you ever had that feeling? So that's the feeling that you get when you drive a sports car. Now, why am I making this comparison? It's because there are people that want to buy performance cars as a daily driver. And a performance car like the N12 or the N14 are good, but I can tell you that it might not be very safe for you and the people around you. You get, compared to a normal car. That's why people like Wakataka, when I met Wakataka when we did the interview, Wakataka was driving a Toyota Hilux. As he drives a Toyota Hilux Vigo as a daily driver. He's a professional sportsman. He can drive his sports car anywhere. He's really skilled. I could see how he handled the Hilux. That he knows what he's doing. But he doesn't drive his race car everywhere because the feel is different. It makes you want to go start places. That's why Morokezo Jebazivugira waba wanja ulo. So for the guys that want to buy Subaru's performance vehicles, no wonder abane moroka Subaru it's over. So the feeling is different. Now after driving the N14 the other day, I was driving my car and I felt different. I felt a kind of peace that I did not feel in the Subaru. Now it doesn't mean that I wasn't enjoying myself driving the Subaru. I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed it. But the peace in driving a normal car is something else. It makes you move at the same pace as the world. I don't know if you, like the Subaru, you move at the pace is normal, but it's hyper. You can make mistakes in Govuge Morokeyo. First of all, the sound alone is not peaceful for you and the people around you. It might actually not be friendly. But the normal car, there is peace. There is peace. And when I compare, guys, I find that before you buy that performance vehicle, that really loud vehicle, yeah, buy yourself a normal vehicle first. A daily driver. You can buy an Alphard, you can buy a RAV4, you can buy a Harrier, you can buy, you get. And actually, I find that the people that drive Subarus normally, it's very hard for me to drive powerful cars, and I drive them normally. And that's where most of the young people are going. Nti omuvubuka agenda gule mmotoka eyo Subaru nga N12 nga tagiguze kugivuga normally. Ayagala kuwulira vibe, and that vibe is very dangerous. So I'll recommend, and the person that gave me the N14 has the N14, has the N12, but he doesn't drive those cars every day. Mu bulamu bwa bulijjo ayina emmotooka eza bulijjo zaavuga nga Harrier, nga Fielder and stuff like that. Kati then in emmotooka eno Subaru evaayo nga bagenda mu rally. After driving the N14 and the surge of power, mu N14 yayina amaanyi. N14 yayina amaanyi. And of course, there is a guy that is going around lying to people that the N14 comes with 600 horsepower. It comes with 300 horsepower. Lekera okulimba abantu. But 300 horsepower is a lot. I wasn't even able to go to the peak of that power. But I can tell you, Area Motoka is a motoka really dangerous. Nungi, but they are not good as daily drivers. Mbovugiremu family yo. Ujitwaliwa. So I would respectfully advise any young person that is thinking about buying a performance vehicle, don't have it as a daily driver. Get yourself a daily driver, a normal car that is peaceful, motor and all. The Subaru was a really comfortable car. It was a good car. It had AC. It had a radio. It was good. But I can tell you the feeling in that Subaru, the adrenaline, the kind of energy that I felt in the Subaru, and how I feel in my Vitz is totally different. So everybody needs a Vitz before they get the N14. And today's tip is about your car electronics. The electronics in your car. Now, what happens, the battery is the one that distributes power all throughout the car through a wiring system. It has fuses, so either it has fuses to break the circuit in case there's a short circuit. It has relays to put power and take it away. Yeah. Now, sometimes the wires break or they have short circuits, and when they have short circuits, aunga fuses zikutuka ubanga relay zifa. Now, when that happens, majority of the time, oyinza obato innocent, oyinza oboli mbwangu, and your mechanic or your wiring guy na ateka kaka wire ku fuse. That's a very dangerous thing. Abatajjanjabye bulwadde. Okitegeera, the goal should be that in case your car gets a short circuit and the fuse breaks, your mechanic should be able to replace the fuse. If the fuse breaks again, anoonye the root cause of the fuse breaking. Emmotoka ezisinga ezijja, what happens if fuse emenyeka emirundi mingi, mechanic anatekako guwayo ogw'amaanyi. Ne kituuka nga amasannyalaze agajja baagakola nga galina kumenya fuse ya 7.5 amps, ng'oli ewaya gy'ataddeko esobola kumenyeka at 30 amps. Kati waya n'ekwata omuliro n'etambula omwo munda, omuliro gusobola okukwata emmotoka n'ejja, oba gutuuse ku tank, oba gutuuse ewa ku fuel pipeline, ku fuel line. Okitegeera, and that's dangerous. Guys, kino mbeera gwe ng'okimanyi nannyini emmotoka. If a car breaks a fuse continuously, emirundi negiwera nga fuse yemu yeekutuka, oyo makanika wo baba tayagala kunoonya. Get a mechanic anoonye, agobe wire, anoonye where is the short circuit coming from. otherwise tuyinza okudda wano nga tuli wano nga tukomyewo nga tunyumya nga mugamba Arthur yabyogerako. Ontegedde. So the next time your fuse breaks multiple times, don't just replace the whole wire, don't just replace the fuse, find the cause and fix it. Thank you very much for being part of this episode of the Car Weekly Roundup, guys. I don't take for granted the fact that you guys come and watch these episodes. And guys, someone told me to tell you this: don't skip. Ato skipping abulango. That's how we make some money. You brave through it. Well, thank you very much for being part of this episode of the Car Weekly Roundup, the show where we go through. We go through what has happened in the casino, maybe tukwatako fengana vuge moroka and stuff. Thank you very much for being part of this. Don't forget, 30th August is the Love for Cars Convention. Yes, the first of its kind for us to come together, tunyumirwe, tulie, to networking, tuyige. 30th August is going to happen at Bar Valley Theatre. Joka. You pay, you get a magazine. At lunchtime, you eat muchomo, you don't spend your money. You drink, you don't spend your money. 30th August 2025. And on that day, that's the day you're going to see the project car and also have a chance of bidding on the project car. Yes. And also don't forget, guys, I do pre-purchase inspection in case you're buying and you need a guardian angel. I am your man. I help you make the right decision. Yes, I help you make the right decision. Yes, I come with a mechanic. I have specialized mechanics that I work with that help me and you make the right decision mechanically. And we have had a very good track record so far. I also sell car tracking devices. Emoroka you take a tracker. Tracking device see a bay. Put a tracking device and I sell them 350, 450 depending on which one you want. Car alarm systems are 210,000 shillings, and of course 30th August. We have live broadcasts every Monday to Friday, 7:25 a.m. to Tandika, and then of course Saturday and Sunday tukola at 5:15 p.m. Monday to Friday 7:25 a.m. Saturday and Sunday to be you at 5:15 p.m. Guys, I wish you a very lovely weekend. Don't drink and drive, and try as much as possible to be safe. Don't overspeed. Remember 30 kilometers per hour in town. May the good Lord bless you. Ciao.
If you're feeling good,